Full time in the Kerry County Championship semi-finals, and it is Mid-Kerry 15 points, Feale Rangers 9 points. Mid-Kerry have booked themselves into another Kerry County Championship final. In the end, a very comprehensive, very comfortable result over Feale Rangers, a game that was very much done and dusted at half-time, and probably done and dusted really after about 10 to 15 minutes. I mean, they led by 11 points to 2 at half-time. They led by 5 points to nothing after the opening 5 or 6 minutes. And it was just very, very comfortable for Mid-Kerry, really. And Feale Rangers, you know, they hit a couple of points late on, and sort of Barry Mahoney grew into the game. Eamon O'Flaherty, who came off the bench, looked very good as well. But all in all, it was very, very comfortable from Mid-Kerry. And, you know, I think their last score came in around the 48th, 49th minute. So they definitely did take their foot off the gas in the second half. But I think it was very evident from watching on TV, and for those who were at the game as well, conditions were obviously very terrible. And, you know, I think you could clearly see there was a very, very strong breeze there. I mean, Feale Rangers going against the breeze, scored 2 points. Mid-Kerry going against the breeze, scored 4 points. So, you know, clearly the breeze and the weather conditions really did play a big part in Mid-Kerry's or play a big part in sort of the story of this game. This is the match reaction, as always, in GAA Fan TV, where we look at all the big club games from the weekend and break them down and discuss them straight after they have happened. And as I was saying there in the beginning, Mid-Kerry starting very, very well. The opening 5 points, very, very impressive indeed. Éanna O'Connor had an outstanding game for Mid-Kerry, 5 points in total, but Liam Carey hitting a couple of early scores, 3 for him in total. Fiachra Clifford got on the score sheet, Mike Breen getting a lovely point as well. And Mid-Kerry were, you know what, for a divisional side, they moved the ball really, really well. I mean, they were really, really entertaining to watch. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there was obviously a lot of people on Twitter, and I'm sure Kerry fans as well probably feel the same. I feel the same. You know, like East Kerry versus Dingle, like that should have been the game on RTE, and it's kind of a disgrace that it isn't, in my opinion. You know, I think the fact that, you know, I don't know the ins and outs of why this game was shown over East Kerry Dingle. You know, I'm not exactly sure, but East Kerry Dingle, like that was the big game. Like that's where the big inter-county stars are. You know, that's where the two big teams are, like the two favourites. So the fact that game wasn't shown was very, very disappointing. But this was a great, entertaining game from a Mid-Kerry perspective. I mean, look, it wasn't maybe entertaining in terms of, it wasn't much of a contest, and I think that was very disappointing. But Mid-Kerry are a very, very good side. You know, like, I'll be honest, as a Dublin fan, I haven't watched too much of the Kerry Championship. So, you know, I haven't seen Mid-Kerry or Feale Rangers play up until this game. Obviously, with the fact it's on RTE, I'm covering it and watching it. But, like, Mid-Kerry looked very, very good. You know, they moved the ball quickly. They were sharp. You know, I think they had 7 different scores in total in the game, all of which scored in the first half. You know, like, they were getting a lot of bodies forward. You know, they weren't relying on just 1 or 2 individuals. Like Éanna O'Connor was brilliant. Keith Evans was fantastic. Jack O'Connor was very good as well. And they were getting up and down the pitch, you know, very, very quickly, and just moving the ball really, really well. And then at the same time, you know, the likes of Mike Breen defensively, Pat Kilkenny as well, like just very, very good defensively. They were getting blocks in there, turning the ball over, and they weren't really allowing Feale Rangers to create much chances in the game, I felt. And I thought it was very, very good from Mid-Kerry in that respect. Like, they were sharp, they were quicker. I mean, obviously, Feale Rangers are, you know, a divisional side in North Kerry who, I think I've seen a statistic where they've won more games in the Kerry County Championship this year than they have in the last 8 years. They hadn't won a game coming into the Kerry County Championship since 2017, before this year. So I think, you know, the fact that they've come as far as they have is significant to them. It's a huge, huge achievement. The fact they beat Austin Sachs, who were the Munster Club finalists and the Kerry County and Club Championship winners last year, you know, like, I think that's a massive, massive testament to Feale Rangers. And you were watching this game and you were thinking, like it did look night and day, the difference between the two teams. Mid Kerry just looked that bit quicker, sharper. Their skill levels were higher. It did look like watching, in some ways, a senior team maybe playing a junior team, or intermediate playing junior in some respects. There looked like a big gap and a big difference between the two teams. As I said, I haven't seen Feale Rangers play up until today, so I presume they've played a lot better. In other games, I presume they've played a lot better against the likes of Austin Stacks, and obviously in progress to where they've got to now. But even in the second half, you did see a lot of Feale Rangers quality, like Barry Mahoney. Like, that was 3 very, very good points. And Eamon Fitzmaurice was saying in commentary that he could be a player that maybe is in, possibility to come into the inter-county team. And you can see why. That was 3 very, very good points. And he was very, very impressive indeed. And Eamon O'Flaherty, who came off the bench, made a difference. And like, just some notes I have in the game here. Feale Rangers in the first half, I felt like they didn't create enough scoring chances, like just 4 scoring chances in the first half, as opposed to 10 in the second half. Obviously, the breeze was playing a massive, massive impact in the game. And that was probably one of the big reasons as to why they were struggling to create opportunities. But, in the second half, just far better. And it actually took them quite a while in the second half as well with the breeze. They did say in commentary that the breeze died down at the start of the second half, so maybe that was a bit of an impact into why it took them quite a while to get going at the start of the second half. But I thought they really did come into the game towards the end, to be fair. I think they hit the last 5 points of the match. And Mid Kerry probably had this game done and dusted, and they probably was, whether it was a bit of, like we're kind of done and dusted here. The game is very much wrapped up, and maybe mentally it probably switched off and already thinking towards the final. But at the same time, like, Feale Rangers did come into it, and you wonder at the start of the second half, could they have made a bit more of a push, made those changes a little bit earlier? And as Ger Canning and Marty Morrissey was saying there as well, like, maybe they could have kicked a bit longer and maybe mixed it a bit up, because they didn't really have, from watching on the TV, like, their forwards were drifting very deep, I felt, and they didn't really have much options inside. But that's my take on it anyways. But yeah, plenty of comments flying in here. Shane says, Feale Rangers. Unfortunately, Feale Rangers didn't have a good day at the office tonight. They are a lot better than that. I would suspect so. I mean, if you're beating Austin Stacks, who are the county champions and got to the Munster final last year as well. So, and you've seen towards the end of the second half some of their performances and how well, they played, in my opinion, towards the end of the game. So clearly there is a good team there. And, the fact that they didn't win a county championship game until, 2017? The fact they've come in here and done as well as they have, given their players are mostly made up of junior clubs, I think that's a big achievement for Feale Rangers. Who will win the Mayo semi-finals tomorrow? I'd go for Ballina, Stephenites and Westport, I would say. I could be wrong, but that's you're asking me who I pick, and that's who I go for. Shane says Barry was poor tonight, bar the last 10 minutes. If he was on it, even from half-time, the game would have been more interesting. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't heard of him, so I did only start hearing of him until the last 10 minutes. And he scored a brilliant first point, and then he finished the game brilliantly. And obviously the game only finished like a couple of minutes ago, so that name is fresh in my head. But I thought, he looked very good, to be fair, in the last 10 minutes. But, obviously Kerry fans would know more in regards to whether he's sort of an accurate player to come into the Kerry team next year, or a good player. But yeah, look, Mid Kerry looked very, very good. I know East Kerry or Dingle will probably be the favourites. I haven't watched enough of Dingle this year. I haven't watched any of them. I did see East Kerry versus Kenmare Shamrocks. I wasn't particularly impressed with them, to be honest. So I would give Mid Kerry a fair chance. I really, really would. I know, look, obviously East Kerry have got the talent of David Clifford, Paddy Clifford. They've got the star names and the star players, but Darragh Roach as well and a few other lads. But I would give Mid Kerry a fair chance on the basis of that performance. I would, but again, I'm probably not the right guy to make the right prediction there. But yeah, I will be watching the East Kerry versus Dingle game tomorrow as well. So there will be a reaction out after that. And I will be quickly then making my way up to Parnell Park for the Dublin Senior Football Championship final. And there will be a reaction there after the game as well. So stay tuned for both of those videos coming out tomorrow. A bit disappointed the East Kerry Dingle game wasn't on tonight, but look, maybe Kerry GAA TV know what they're doing in terms of bringing people in and charging people a bit extra money. Maybe they make more of an income through their streaming service than TG Caher and RTE. I really don't know. But yeah, we will be doing reactions tomorrow. And of course, there will be a podcast out tomorrow evening as well, looking at all the games. Plenty of big talking points, plenty to discuss, as there always is in the GAA regarding these club championships. It's absolutely entertaining. Quickly, Dylan says, where can you watch East Kerry and Dingle? It is going to be on Clubber TV, I believe. I think it's like €15 or €10. Not ideal. But look, it is what it is. And yeah, that's just how it is, unfortunately. It'd be great if all these games were free. Maybe Kerry should take a leaf out of Dublin GAA streaming the games on YouTube for free normally. But then again, Dublin GAA probably have enough money as it is. Shane says it's probably so more people attend the game. Yeah, that's fair. Maybe that is a fair point, but I do think at the same time, they probably should have had the game there on RTE tonight, or at least on TG Caher. But it is what it is. But yeah, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers anyone who tuned in, and I'll chat to you all later.